Hi everyone, this is Mr. Xiao, and we are going to be looking at assignment number one for week 11. Assignment number one is going to be about Cornell notes, and they're typically villain notes, but it's going to also show you how to actually take Cornell notes for section chapter 5, lesson 4. So let's go ahead and go to the form. So if you go to our classwork, it's going to be our first selection. It's going to be assignment number one. And go ahead and open up the file, and it's going to be about nation building in Latin America. So we're going to be looking at pages 196 to 200 in your textbook. So you will need the world history book, and the reading is short, but there is actually a lot of information in between. So you're going to be taking notes using the Cornell note template below, and I'm going to show you actually how to kind of fill in these notes and give you examples of how you're supposed to be taking notes while using Cornell. So you're going to be looking at the different parts of the assignment, and you're going to complete sentences. You're going to answer questions. You're going to fill in the bullets, and then complete the boxes with information from the textbook that covers chapter 5, lesson 4. All right, so as you kind of look at how Cornell notes are set up, they're actually kind of set up in boxes. So you have the Cornell notes title. So this is going to be talking about lesson 4 of chapter 5. And here it's going to talk about the high school, which is starting with high school. And then the topic objective is going to be discussing Latin American revolutions and how they influence or connected to the world itself. And here is the essential question, but it is not complete. So if you go to page 197, you will see that the guiding question for that section is essentially our essential question. So you're going to be looking at what the sentence says, and you're going to be filling in two words. Okay, two words to complete the essential question. How were national revolts in Latin America influenced by, and there's a blank here, another blank, and you need to fill in those two words to complete your essential question. Okay, so make sure you fill that in. The first part is not exactly like how Cornell's are set up, but I wanted you to actually understand the vocabulary, and these vocabulary, if you look in your book, are highlighted in yellow. So go ahead and look at these words and define them. So these three groups are especially important to Latin America, and you need to find out who they are and what they're about. Okay. So each section of your notes is divided into headings. And so we have the national revolts, we have revolt of Haiti, we have the American French and Haitian revolutions, revolt in Mexico, and then finally revolt in South America, and then threats to independence. So these are all broken up into headings in your book. And that's generally how you want to start Cornell notes. You want to start with headings, and then on the left-hand side, you write questions that are going to talk about your notes and information you'll be taking down. So here's an example of a question I wrote. What influences caused Creoles of Latin America to consider revolution? And then if you look at the reading, there's some fill in here, okay? And I won't be writing everything out for you. I wanted to just kind of have an idea of what to write. So you would answer this question, such as influence, such as blank and blank. So fill that in, and then at the end, you also fill in the word here. So these are just fill-in notes. But here, how did Napoleon's war provide an opportunity for change? You will then look for this answer in um, paragraph 4 on page 197 underneath national revolts. And then you will answer that question, and that would be the note that you would be taking. That would be the information you would be taking down in Cornell notes. All right, so you would do that for most of the different questions. And there is actually also you writing questions. So looking at what's written here, what question could you say to correspond to this fact? Okay, the news revolution was in Sendami. And so what would that be answering? So you probably put a question here. And so again, this information is to help you set up like maybe the heading or the information or the paragraph that your information came from. And then this is the actual fact and bullet. So you would answer questions for each of these. What cause did they find for the revolt? And that's going to be for Haiti. And who led the Haitian revolt? And then you ask the question here, and what happened to the leader of the Haitian revolt? Okay, again, question, and then a fact. So answer question here, and then as we kind of go down further, this one here, the Golden Mexico box number 2 is asking for both a question to set up and also a question that you are going to answer based on whatever you wrote. So you might start with a question about um, what happened to the Mexican revolt, what was the result, and then answer that question. Answer your own question here. So think about like what you will write for the top of 199. It's usually uh, the first 2 paragraphs, and then how you would answer that question that you wrote. Okay, and this is just a good way for you to think about what information to write down, not just jotting down or copying down facts, but thinking about how you organize it and then how you would write it. Okay. All right. So the revolt in South America would be again just questions you would answer. Okay, based on I already actually put some headings of questions that you want to answer. But the last section on threats to independence, there is no information, no question heading, nothing written. You will have to do all of that. And you're also going to be doing 2 bullet points for the information written. So let's say you answer write a question for the bottom 199 about threats to independence. Then you would give 2 bullet points to answer that question. Okay? And then the top of 200, same thing, 2 bullets to answer the question that you have written. Finally, you would actually take all that information and you would summarize answering the essential question. Okay? And so the summary would be probably a paragraph. You can write it in with a thesis and then evidence supporting, but make sure you answer this question about how revolts in Latin America were influenced. Think about what you would say and how you would include that to kind of answer that question or summarize that question, giving a condensed amount of information about the 4 pages from 196 to 200. Okay? And that is how you do Cornell notes or set up a Cornell notes section. So this will be based on heading, and then you would write information for each of these sections so that you cover everything in those areas. All right, hopefully this is not the first time you see Cornell notes, but if it is, follow the format, look at the questions you're going to be writing, and then make sure you answer your own questions. And fill in complete sentences, and of course, fill in those bullets, because that's where all the facts are going to be. All right, guys. So hopefully this is sounds easy to you. It's just a little bit of reading, and then make sure you jot down ideas. Hopefully this will not be something that it's going to give you trouble. But if it does, please speak to your email or speak to one of your teachers. All right. Thank you for your time, guys, and I will look forward to seeing your results.